How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Detroit Lions franchise here on Madden 22. My name is Football Fan Forever, and it's time for Week 6 against the Minnesota Vikings. Both teams enter this matchup at 3-2. The Lions finally back on the plus side of 500 after beating the Ravens last week. But there's a couple names popping up on the injury report here from practice. One is backup right guard Halapulivati Vaitai, but the more concerning one, at least at this point, is starting middle linebacker DeAngelo Carmichael. Our run defense has been the worst in the league to start this season, and missing a player of Carmichael's caliber is really going to hurt heading into a matchup with Dalvin Cook. We do have another solid young middle linebacker in rookie George Towns. He does a lot of the same things that DeAngelo Carmichael does, but we play a 3-4 defense which features two middle linebackers, so it remains to be seen how we replace Carmichael's presence. We put our defense through extra reps against inside runs in practice this week. But it is our offense that will start with the ball here as Logan Cook gets us underway here Week 6. The opening kickoff is a couple yards deep into the end zone, and Quan Sandridge will cross the 25 to about the 27 with his return. And that is where Bob Harrison and the Detroit offense will set up shop. 13 touchdowns, 7 picks on the year for Hairston. He has struggled to protect the football at times this season, so we'll see if he can clean that up today against the Vikings. And he will start under center. 2 tight ends and 2 wide receivers in the formation. Play action to Swift. Hairston well protected, fires downfield, and there's Deshaun Peoples for a gain of 26. It is the first career start for Deshaun Peoples as he gets the nod at wide receiver over Quintez Cephas. As Hairston will head to the air on 2nd and 3, and he'll fire short. There is Dexter Allen to the 35, gain of 5 and a first down. TJ Hawkinson back out there for 1st and 10, but so is Jason Kabinda, and the Lions will try the left side. There's a short gain for DeAndre Swift, and that will lead to a 3rd and 8 from the 33. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Harrison protected, drifts way back, fires over the middle, and there is a nice play in coverage by Anthony Barr, getting a hand on that one and knocking it away from Deshaun Peoples. So the Lions send out the field goal unit, and Austin Seibert is good from 50. So it's 3-0 Lions as Captain Kirk takes the field. I was a little surprised when the Vikings didn't take a quarterback in this most recent NFL draft, especially with Cousins regressing and entering his age 35 season. He's only a 73 overall, normal development quarterback. Arm strength is not what it used to be, and while he's still really good off of play action, you have to wonder how much he has left in the tank. The Vikings in this series have elected to keep a number of veterans such as Adam Thielen, Anthony Barr, and Eric Kendricks. But you have to wonder if that strategy is wasting some of Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook's prime years, as they are both in the upper echelon of the league at their respective positions. And it is Dalvin Cook getting the first touch of the day. Cousins hits him for 9, and the Vikings convert shortly thereafter. Now facing a 2nd and 5, Matt Briscoe takes it off the right side for another first down. And while the Vikings didn't take a quarterback where I thought they would, they did take my favorite running back in this past draft in Matt Briscoe. He's a bit of a north-south running back. He's not very good in the passing game. The Vikings did move on from Alexander Madison, so I really like what they have in Matt Briscoe in terms of building towards the future. Cook is back in the game on 2nd and 6. There's a curl route to N'Keal Harry. Well covered by Ifeatu Melifonwu, but it's another Minnesota first down. They're inside the 35 here. Briscoe up the middle, and he has some yards after contact down to the 22. The Vikings getting both Briscoe and Cook involved in the game here early and often. I like the rotation they have going, as it has them right on the edge of the red zone here. 1st and 10. There's another curl route and another completion to N'Keal Harry, this time in front of Sean Francois, and it's goal to go Minnesota. Second and goal from the 6. Briscoe up the middle, and with a little bit of help from Alex Anzalone, he is in for the score. When he gets ahead of steam, he is hard to bring down on first contact. He probably would have scored even without the push from Anzalone. And it's a 7-3 Minnesota lead as Detroit gets the ball back on their own 26. Swift tries the left side. He'll pick up about 6 yards, and J.J. Dunlap will enter the game. And now he has a lane right up the middle between Jonah Jackson and Frank Ragnow. It's a gain of 16 for the second-year running back. Crossing midfield, 2nd and 2 for the Lions. Harrison in the shotgun. Handoff to Deshaun Stevenson working inside for another nice gain of 8. 1st and 10. Detroit, they're moving the ball well here today. Single high safety look for the Vikings on 1st and 10. Play action. Harrison fires over the middle. There's Keegan Darby inside the 20, inside the 15, down to the 14. It's a 4 of 6 start for Bob Harrison, and it has the Vikings inside the 10. Here's 2nd and 4. Harrison drifting back. No one's open, and he is sacked by Melvin Goodrich, as he lost a lot of yards on that play. Now 3rd and 19. Stevenson in motion as the Vikings drop 8 into coverage. Harrison looking for Hawkinson, and he's lucky that one wasn't picked off. Couple Vikings in the area and a very tight window, especially after Hawkinson ran into his own man at the end of that route. It's a 7-6 ball game as Cook bounces off of first contact and breaks this one up the right sideline to the 42. And Dalvin Cook is shaken up for the Vikings. He landed awkwardly at the end of that run, tackled by both Will Harris and Tracy Walker. So it's Matt Briscoe in the game here, carrying the load for the Vikings. Gain of just 2 on 1st down. Cousins will head to the air on 2nd and 8. Interior pressure. Cousins stands his ground. There's a strike. Irv Smith is wide open inside the 15, down to the 12. The Lions have been playing more man coverage in recent weeks, so the Vikings come out with 2 tight ends and force Romeo Okwara to cover Irv Smith, and that's the kind of matchup problems you will run into if you are the Lions. It's Matt Briscoe on 1st and 10 from the 12. He'll have just a couple yards up the middle, and that will lead to a 3rd and 5. Cousins under center. Briscoe the lone back. Short drop for Cousins, more interior pressure, and this time he airmails it to avoid taking the sack. As the Lions defense holds there, 10-6 Minnesota. Harrison back to pass on 2nd and 7, rolls to his right, fires to the sideline, and that is nearly intercepted. A nice play there by Cam Dantzler, and another dangerous throw by Bob Harrison. Now 3rd and 7. Christian Kirk slot left. Harrison drifting back again, fires over the middle. There is Deshaun Peoples to the 46. 1st down Detroit, and the drive will continue. Not a lot from Detroit's ground game on 1st and 10. Here is Deshaun Stevenson up the middle, and he will have a 1st down. Good second effort there to pick up some extra yards and the 1st. Harrison in the shotgun again on 1st down, and Daniil Hunter read that one all the way. And that is an act of mercy by Daniil Hunter to not run through Deshaun Stevenson on his way to the quarterback. It's 2nd and 16 for the Lions. And Harrison will head to the air again. He's got a little bit more time this time, and he will find Hawkinson up the right sideline for a gain of 12. So it's a very manageable 3rd and 4 for Detroit. Harrison to the air, sets his feet, and misses wildly. Cam Dantzler with a gift from Bob Harrison. I don't know what happened there, but it's excellent field position for the Vikings, up 10-6. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it's Briscoe getting a lane and some blocking. He breaks a tackle inside the 20, down to the 15. No Dalvin Cook, no problem for Minnesota as they continue to run all over our defense. That's already 70 yards on just 9 carries for Briscoe. And I haven't even called Justin Jefferson's name yet, as that will have to wait a little bit longer. As Irv Smith has another catch down to the 5, it's goal to go Minnesota. Detroit stacks the box, 2nd and goal. Briscoe met in the backfield. There's George Towns. If anyone can slow down this Minnesota rushing attack, it's gotta be him. Vikings now facing a 3rd and goal from the 2. Bunch formation on the right side for Cousins. Briscoe the lone back, and Cousins heads to the air. Fires to the end zone, and I don't think Thielen had that one. It is a drop in the end zone, and 4th and goal forthcoming. Briscoe in the game. He will get the call. A lane up the middle, and he is in for his 2nd touchdown of the day, and a 17-6 Minnesota lead. So Harrison's 8th interception turns into 7 points for the Vikings, as the Lions, with 4.5 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, will need to start getting some yards and points if they want to stay in this game. There's a start. Nice catch and run by TJ Hawkinson, putting Harrison over the 100-yard mark on the day. Almost half of that going to his superstar tight end. 1st and 10 on the plus side of 50. Here's a lane. DeAndre Swift bouncing this outside, and he takes a big hit from Anthony Barr, but holds on to the football. Detroit 1st and 10 from the 32. Play action, Hairston. Deep drop, fires over the middle. There's Deshaun Peoples inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. What a spark he has provided this offense in his first career start. It's 1st and goal Detroit as they try and answer. Harrison to the air from the pistol, fires to the right side. There's Allen, who is inside the 5, down to the 4. 2nd and goal. Now bringing out Cabinda, the fullback, 2 wide receivers right. Inside 3 minutes here as Harrison surveys the field. Hands off to Swift, and he is swarmed in the backfield by Purple. 3rd and goal from the 6. Eric Kendricks, the first one there, as the Lions will try and convert here. Hawkinson isolated to the right. 2 safeties deep for the Vikings. Christian Kirk, Darby, and Deshaun Peoples on the left side of your screen. Hairston fires, and that is nearly intercepted. That is the 3rd pick he's had dropped here today, in addition to the one that he threw earlier. As the Lions settle for another field goal, they've not been good on 3rd downs. As there's Justin Jefferson breaking free. He slips a tackle, and he's inside Detroit territory, down to the 40. And if he gets going, we are really in trouble here in Minneapolis. As Cousins will head to the air, running a 2-minute drill here. Pressure incoming. He just gets it away to Matt Briscoe, who has a gain of 6 to the 34. Clock will continue to run. Minnesota with all 3 timeouts, as Cousins will head to the air for the 10th time today, and down he goes. Devin Woodson with the sack back at the 42. And the Vikings will spend their first time out here before this 3rd and 12. They're on the edge of field goal range here. Cousins in the shotgun, Briscoe to his left, setting up the screen, and Woodson is back for more. And now it's Detroit's turn to take a timeout, as they will get the ball back with 51 seconds here on their own 9. They've got a bit of work to do if they want to get into field goal range here. 2 timeouts in their pocket. Harrison launches a deep ball, 1-on-1 for Peoples, who cannot hang on through the contact. And that will lead to a 3rd and 10. A very aggressive throw there on 1st down. Short throw this time on 3rd down, as the Lions will go 3 and out, and Minnesota will get the ball back with 25 seconds and 1 timeout. So Cousins, with time, fires to the left side. There is an interception by Will Harris. He was looking for rookie Terrence Marshall, but Harris takes that one away. Just a nice play by the veteran safety to hold Minnesota without points at the end of the half there. 17-9 is your score as we head to halftime. And with this being a Thursday night game, there's no other games besides ours to take a look at. These 2 teams are pretty evenly matched. It's just a 1-score game after halftime here, but the difference is in turnovers and also in the red zone, where the Lions have had to settle for field goals while the Vikings have scored touchdowns on 2 of their 3 drives. Neither team has been very good on 3rd down in today's game either. So the focus for the Lions has to be getting back to playing our brand of football. Maybe we lean on our rushing attack a little bit more in the second half with our passing offense yet to really get into a rhythm. But as Minnesota with the ball here first to open the second half, and Dalvin Cook is back out there for the Vikings. He only had a few touches before his injury earlier in today's game, so he's essentially fresh, as he's already catching passes from Kirk Cousins on his first play back. 3rd and 8. It's Briscoe back in the game, and Briscoe converting the first down on the angle routes. I think the Vikings have found their next superstar running back. It seems like they always have a really solid running back in Minnesota, and he will continue on that tradition. As it is 2nd and 1, one play later, Cousins with time. There's N'Keal Harry wide open over the middle for a first down. Cousins 11 to 15 for a $174. He's found Harry on several occasions, who's already over 50 yards for the Vikings. As they will head back to their ground game, 2nd and 8, Dalvin Cook with a lane and a head of steam. He's inside the red zone down to the 17 as he eclipses 50 yards on the day. 1st and 10, Briscoe off the left side, disrespecting Will Harris with that stiff arm. Matt Briscoe is unstoppable here for the Vikings. It's goal to go Minnesota from the 7. Dalvin Cook back in the game for Minnesota. Inside handoff, and he is in for the Vikings' 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. And I don't think our game plan has been working at all, as the Lions now down 15 points here. Still technically a 2-score game, but we have lacked rhythm and consistency on offense as DeAndre Swift carries outside for no gain. Now 2nd and 10. Harrison under center. Short throw over the middle. There is Kirk fighting across the first down marker. He will extend the drive for the Lions. 2 deep safeties for Minnesota. Harrison again under center. Harrison with time unloads another deep ball. Kirk with a step, and he cannot haul that one in, as we've taken our shots in today's game, but it has not been met with success. 3rd and 10, blitz is brought. Harrison gets it out, and that is well defended by Trey Herndon, and the Lions will go 3 and out. No momentum on either offense or defense for Detroit, as Cousins on 2nd and 5 checks it down for Briscoe, and that is well defended by Jeff Okudah. 3rd down. And Minnesota will spread out the field here. 4 wide receivers. Cousins firing to the right side for Briscoe, who never saw it coming. It's not pretty, but we will take it. There's a stop by the defense, and our offense will get the ball back on its own 33. J.J. Dunlap cuts it back and has about 8 yards on his 2nd carry. And there's enough time left in the game that you can still establish your ground game. Down 2 scores, you don't want to be too predictable. And runs like this one from DeAndre Swift behind excellent run blocking from our offensive line can help open up the playbook here against a Vikings defense that is missing Harrison Smith this week. And it's play action on 1st down. Harrison sets his feet and delivers. Emmett Wheeler inside the 15 down to the 11. It's his first career reception, as he's not seen the field very often this season. He's buried on the depth chart right now. Harrison will take off here, angling towards the sideline. No one was open. It's a gain of 6, and it's 2nd and 4 from the 5. 2 tight ends on the field. Harrison under center for 2nd down. Blitz is brought, it's picked up. Harrison escapes, rolls to his right, and he'll take it in himself. May have been able to throw that one in. He had a couple of options, but safer to just tuck and run as we play duck, duck, gray duck here in Minnesota. I will accept no substitutes, as the Lions put 7 on the board for the first time here today. It's an 8-point game with Minnesota leading 24-16. So our defense got to stop the last drive. Can we slow down Matt Briscoe as he crosses the 100-yard mark on that carry, averaging over 6 yards per carry in relief of Dalvin Cook? And it looks like he's going to carry the load from here on out. Weaving his way through defenders and still going. Tripped up by the turf monster. He's only stopped at the 35-yard line. How many yards has he had after first contact here today? As he's out there again on 1st and 10. And now it's Kirk Cousins off a play action. Wide open. Thielen. Touchdown. And maybe that's why they drafted a running back in Matt Briscoe. Having a formidable 1-2 punch in Cook and Briscoe means that your play action game is even stronger. And that's really where Kirk Cousins is at his best. So the Lions get some momentum, but the Vikings immediately answer. We're back to a 15-point game. It's 31-16 as we head to the fourth quarter, and the Lions will need to rally here. They'll start with a nice carry there by Deshaun Stevenson, leading to a 3rd and 2. And now the box is sacked. 7 defenders against Jamal Williams, and Michael Pierce makes the stop, but not before Williams picks up the first down. 3 tight ends in the formation on 1st and 10. Play action for Harrison. He's got time, and he's got Hawkinson open down the left sideline. Out of bounds. Inside Viking territory to the 42. 2 very similar offensive philosophies at work here as Harrison stands tall, fires. There's Dexter Allen out of bounds for a gain of 7. And that will lead to a 3rd and 3. Harrison under center, and he will hand off to DeAndre Swift, who has the first down and a bit more to the 29. He'll cross 50 yards on his 10th carry. 1st and 10, Lions at the 29. Play action for Harrison again, rolling, firing. There's Darby, who comes down with it at the 2. What a catch by Keegan Darby! With a defender draped all over him, it's goal to go Detroit. And DeAndre Swift will take it in from 2 yards out as the Lions will answer here in the fourth quarter. We're back to a 1-score game after a 9-play, 75-yard drive to make it 31-23. Detroit stacking the box here on 2nd and 9. CJ Ham is in the game, and Briscoe follows him to the right, and Briscoe will have about 4 yards. He's had an excellent day against us. And the Lions will stack the box again here on 3rd and 5. Cousins against a 4-man rush. He's well protected, but time runs out. Deshaun Hand off the edge gets us the sack and the stop that we need, as the Lions will get the ball back with 6.5 minutes to go, down 8. They are still in this game. 2nd and 9. Jet sweep to Christian Kirk won't go very far, and it's 3rd and 8. Crowd starting to get into this one. They need a stop here. Harrison back to pass. Takes his shot for Hawkinson, and he's intercepted a second time. It's Trey Herndon with a leaping one-handed pick. One of the best interceptions you will see all season, as a 3rd down prayer from Bob Harrison goes unanswered. It's actually Trey Herndon who's covering Deshaun Peoples on this play. But Peoples can't get good separation and ends up running a route that takes him into the same postal code as Hawkinson. And the throw to Hawkinson is just a little bit overthrown. So the Vikings with a chance to seal this one and make it a 2-score game once again. They'll lean on Matt Briscoe here on 1st down. He's over 130 yards on the ground against us. But they will spread out the field on 3rd and 4. Detroit in the dime formation. Cousins with time takes a deep shot for Jefferson, and it's hauled in at the 18. It's been a quieter day for him, but he comes through in the clutch. And the Vikings now well inside field goal range. Looking to add to their lead here. Cousins again with an empty formation. Looks Jefferson's way. That's always a good strategy. And it's goal to go Minnesota. Facing a 2nd and goal from the 3. Cousins in the shotgun. He's protected, but he's intercepted. Romeo Okwara's 2nd of the season. We're not done just yet. And it's rare that we see him drop back into coverage. He's our best edge rusher. but he drops back into a quarterback spy there for some reason and takes away certain points and keeps this game alive for the Lions. So with 96 yards and 3.5 minutes left on the clock, the Lions have a chance to tie the game here. They'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie at 31. And they face an early 3rd and 4 here. You know we're in 4-down territory at this point. Minnesota shows pressure, and the Lions will counter. Jamal Williams fighting his way across the 15 to the 16. He will move the sticks for Detroit. And the Lions see something they like, hurrying back to the line. Harrison under center. Play action to Williams. Time for Harrison. He fires over the middle. There's Dexter Allen across the 35 to the 36. And once again, Detroit will hustle up to the line of scrimmage. Dexter Allen on the field. Darby, Peoples, and Kirk are your 3 wide receivers. 4-man rush for Minnesota. Harrison flushed. Runs to his right, fires downfield. There's Peoples alone on the sideline, and he ducks out of bounds at the 29. Harrison led a 4th quarter comeback against the Vikings in week 4 of last season. He's trying to do the same here. Minute 57 on the clock, 1st and 10 from the 29. Deep drop for Harrison, rolling to his right, fires short. There is Sandwich, tackled in bounds at the 19. Harrison over 300 passing yards on the day against Minnesota's secondary, missing Harrison Smith. It's 1st and 10. Harrison back to pass. Takes a shot to the right sideline. There's Peoples, who can't hang on. Would have been an incredible catch along the right sideline there. Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Harrison again to the air. Wants Kirk in the end zone. Touchdown! Detroit has driven down the field 96 yards. And it's capped by an incredible throw and a great route from Christian Kirk, who beat press coverage off the line of scrimmage and wins the race to the pylon in the corner of the end zone against Cam Dantzler. But now the Lions need a 2-point conversion to tie. And Minnesota is not going to defend the interior. This is a mistake against Jamal Williams, who walks in untouched to tie the game at 31. But have they left the Vikings too much time? There's a minute 19 on the clock. Minnesota has all 3 timeouts. So now Detroit is looking for another stop from their defense. It's Cousins in the shotgun on 1st and 10. Play action. He's well protected. Now delivers to the left sideline, and that's caught. N'Keal Harry at the 39. 36 yards to flip the field for Minnesota, and now Detroit starts spending its timeouts. We're in damage control mode as we'd like to hold the Vikings to a quick field goal to give our offense the chance to drive down for a score of our own. But we're inside 1 minute. Here is the 3rd and 2 that will likely decide the game. Briscoe in the backfield. Everyone knows he's getting the ball. Briscoe met and powers his way across the 1st down marker to the 28. The man is unstoppable. And now Minnesota can run the clock all the way down. 31 seconds to go. They're using their timeouts as Briscoe is inside the 15 down to the 10. And that will set up a chip shot field goal for Brian Johnson. Detroit has iced him, but this is a very short field goal. 25 yards, right hash. And he will make it 34-31 with just 5 seconds to go. So out we come in the Hail Mary formation here. 74 yards to go, 1 second left. Harrison drops back. Everyone running downfield. Pressure incoming. He gets this one away. Chaos at the catch point, and it is incomplete. As the Lions fall back to 500 on the season after a late rally is not quite enough. 34-31 is your final score as we just can't stop Minnesota's rushing attack here. 237 yards allowed by this defense without DeAngelo Carmichael. Oofda. Bob Harrison throws for 344 yards in the loss here today. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. It wasn't a bad day for him. I would have liked that first interception back because it was the right read and just delivered to the wrong team. More concerning than the interceptions on offense was our run defense, as we could not contain Matt Briscoe or Dalvin Cook. There were a lot of yards given up after contact, and I have to wonder if we might not have been able to drive down and tie the game with a field goal if we'd been able to stop Briscoe on that 3rd and 2. All in all, it was a tough game for our defense, which gave up over 12 yards per attempt to Kirk Cousins as well. So we weren't at our best against the pass either, and that really made it difficult for us to slow down Minnesota when the game was on the line. Deshaun Peoples provided a spark for our offense, though. 6 catches, 111 yards in his starting debut. Allen and Hawkinson also combined for over 100 yards on 8 catches between them. And both Christian Kirk and Keegan Darby were contributors here today as well. I don't know if we'll ever have an elite passing offense in this series. It's a bit of a stretch for me to throw for 300 plus yards in a game and not have multiple turnovers. But I like what Deshaun Peoples brings to the offense, and I think he complements our wide receiver duo of Keegan Darby and Christian Kirk quite well. Throw in players like TJ Hawkinson and Dexter Allen, and I think we have enough playmakers on offense that we can spread the ball around and attack defenses in a variety of ways. But more concerning for me at this point of the season is our defense, specifically our run defense. Now yes, we were missing DeAngelo Carmichael here today, but we were ranked last in the league against the run coming into this game. Now, we had a bottom 5 rushing defense last season as well, so our struggles aren't exactly surprising, but I felt like we were better in our front 7 with the addition of George Towns. That leads me to believe that where we're really losing the battle against the run is in the trenches. I think I need to get back to a more consistent defensive line rotation and get Deshaun Hand and Levi Onwuzurike on the field more often in our nickel formation. They're the best run stoppers we have on our team alongside Aleem McNeil, but they rarely play outside of our base 3-4 set, and maybe putting them on the field for a few more plays will lead to better results against the run. You obviously want Devin Woodson out there as much as possible, but he's not a great run defender, and Chauncey Barker has been very underwhelming to start his career, and he needs some more development before he's ready to play as many snaps as I've been giving him. Lucas Parr has also cooled off after notching a couple of sacks early on in the season. He's definitely not a very strong run defender, so I might look to sub in Dalton Logan and Philip Harden and some of the other edge rushers who are a little bit stronger against the run in hopes of containing that edge better than what he's been able to do. There's still 2 weeks before the trade deadline, including a bye week and one more game against the Green Bay Packers. So there's no need to go pulling a trigger on a trade just yet, at least until we know more about who might be shopped closer to the trade deadline. So we'll have one more game to fiddle with personnel groupings to see if there isn't an in-house solution for our run defense woes before we look at giving up any assets in a potential trade. There's also a little bit of a metagame aspect to keep in mind, knowing that I want to end this series at the end of this season. That drastically reduces the value of future picks for us in the context of this series, so I don't really want to be trading away a whole bunch of picks to create an absolutely stacked team for the final year of this series. I feel like that takes away from some of the realism here. So I will weigh any trade quite harshly in terms of giving up future capital, just with that in mind. I want to make sure it's a fair trade and a realistic trade if that does become an option. But that is not something we need to decide right now. We've got our bye week and we choose the injury and morale boost option, which is always helpful coming off a loss. If we don't want to trade, there are a couple of free agents available. One free agent option is the 36-year-old Ndamukong Suh. I'd say his ratings are similar to what we have already at the right defensive end position between Levi Onwuzurike, Deshaun Hand, and Chauncey Barker. We could also bring in the 35-year-old Brandon Graham to play opposite Romeo Okwara along the edge. He's got decent attributes against the run and the pass, but neither are going to completely transform our defense, so I'm again holding off on making any personnel changes until at least we have a little bit more information on this team after our game against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay has been very good in this series, and they have found their next superstar quarterback in Jordan Love, while also making some good draft picks as well, and in general keeping their core playmakers together. Love earned star development after a breakout season last year where he threw for over 5,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And while he hasn't been quite as prolific this season, he's still playing at a very high level, and he's got the #1 wide receiver in the league in Devontae Adams to throw the ball to. We split the season series with Green Bay last year, and I'm really excited to play them this season. So that video will be out next on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Like always, have a good one, and I'll catch you next time, everybody.